So here's your chlorine pump, and basically when you first plug it in or first power it up, it could be anywhere in the menu. It could say fixed rate like it does now. It could say current. But what you need to remember about this pump is that the menu is questions. It's all driven with questions. And right now it's asking you, do you want fixed rate? Fixed rate means it's going to ignore the flow meter and it's going to stay at the same rate all the time. The only time you ever want to use fixed rate is if you're priming the pump or if your flow meter breaks. If your flow meter breaks, you put it in fixed rate, turn it down to how much you think you should have, and it'll basically ignore the fact that there's no signal from the flow meter and it'll keep pumping. So what you need to remember is that, like I said, the menu is question driven, and there's two buttons. This bottom middle button, which is no, and it looks like a no smoking sign. That's no. This top middle button is yes. So you answer each question yes or no. So if I don't want fixed rate, I say no. Do I want pulse signal? No, that's basically an old-fashioned flow meter. Do I want current signal? Yes. So just to show you what the rest of the choices are, I'm going to say no to that first. Count strokes, that's only basically if you're for batching systems. So if this pump is used for food manufacturing and things like that. Run on off, same thing. That's like if you're only injecting at a certain time per day and you want it to run, say, 40 minutes per day. So we don't use that one either. And then there's a settings menu, and we will have that all set up for you, so there's nothing that you need to do in there. So if I say no to that, it goes right back to the first choice, fixed rate. So basically you can scroll through all of those as many times as you want just by hitting the no. The one that you always want to be on is current signal. So I'm going to go say yes to that, which is, again, the top middle button is the yes. Once you say yes, it says set high rate. And basically, because this pump is half a gallon per hour, I could set it so that it never goes above 0.25 gallons per hour. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, I'll say yes anyway. And it says high rate is 100. If I wanted to, I could change that with these arrows, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep saying yes. Set low rate, I'll say yes to that, and I'm going to leave low rate at 0. Set high signal. And now this pump is fed a 4 to 20 milliamp signal from the flow meter, so this is where you change that. So it's going to say high signal is 20 milliamps. I'm just going to leave that like it is and say yes. Set low signal, I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to leave it as it is, 4 milliamps, because it's a 4 to 20 milliamp signal. So if I say yes to that, the very last question is calibrate, and I can actually say yes to that as well. It's basically telling me what kind of signal it's getting right now from the flow meter in percentage. And if I just say yes to that, the last question is run 4 to 20 milliamp. That's basically the very last question before it runs. So if I say yes to that, it tells you what the flow, it's basically started now. So you'll hear it click if we basically have any flow, but I think our flow meter might not be set up yet. So just to show you that again, but that is basically the screen you should have when you're done. It says flow equals, it'll tell you how many gallons per day, and it says signal rate. So if I just exit out of that again, I'm going to say no. I can actually hit the no again, and I'm just by hitting that no twice, I'm back to the main menu. That main menu where I can scroll through. So just to quickly summarize, here's a simple way to remember it. Hit no until you see current signal, and then hit yes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're done. Oh, sorry, 11, 12. So 12 times. So hit no until you see current signal, hit yes 12 times, and you're right where you need to be. The only other thing to show you with this pump is this 5-function degas valve. It has 2 knobs on it. The top knob is a back pressure, and it basically keeps a back pressure on the pump at all times so that if there's ever a vacuum in the line, it won't just suck the chlorine out of the barrel faster than you want. And so you should basically always have that in the on position, which is over on that side. There's a little, you can see it if I move it here, there's a little pointer. I've got it pointing straight up now. That pointer should be over to the far left. So basically just leave that top knob to the far left. The bottom knob is a bleed. And basically, if I want to prime the pump, for example, or get rid of air that is in the pump head, I just need to open this one that way a bit. And instead of going out this tube and into the injection point, it'll go out this tube and back down into the barrel. So that's basically how you bleed air out of the pump. You open this up and let it go out through this tube instead of the top one. Basically, there's no back pressure on it. Once you've got nothing but liquid coming out of that tube, you know you've got all the air bled, and you can close this back up again until it stops right there. And that's how you operate the 5-function valve. That's pretty well it.